In this video, I'm going to explain a material called inversion. Inversion is used when we put a verb before a subject, just like in questions. So how do we put a sentence into a question? By putting an auxiliary verb before the subject. For example, she has an allergy to seafood. In question, it becomes, does she have an allergy to seafood? You have to check the tense to know the auxiliary verb you have to use. In present simple, we use do or does. It depends on the subject. Look at the next sentence. She lost her locker key. The interrogative form is, does she lose her locker key? Because it is in past tense, we use did as the auxiliary verb. Look at the next question. She will help you. In interrogative, it becomes, will she help you? If you look at the sentence, all of them use an auxiliary verb before the subject. And then after the subject, we use the main verb. Now, compare the two sentences. I have never seen such a breathtaking sunset before. The next one, never have I seen such a breathtaking sunset before. The first sentence is a normal sentence, but the next sentence is an inverted sentence. In a normal sentence, you start from the subject, then the verb. But in inverted sentence, the subject is between the auxiliary verb and also the main verb. We use inversion to add emphasis, to add drama, or to sound more natural. We usually use inversion with negative adverbials. To invert a sentence, we put the negative adverbial, such as never, rarely, not only, etc., at the beginning. Now, look at the example. I have rarely read such an original story. If you look at the sentence, rarely is the negative adverbial, and when you put the sentence into inversion, you put rarely first at the beginning of the sentence. Right after that, you change the structure into an interrogative pattern. It means you put the auxiliary verb first, followed by a subject, then the main verb. Therefore, the result is, rarely have I read such an original story. Now look at the second example. They never lied to me. In this sentence, never is the negative adverbial. Then what you do next is you turn the sentence structure into an interrogative structure. Because this is past tense, the result becomes, never did they lie to me. Next, look at the list of the negative adverbials. Hardly, never, seldom, rarely, only then, not only, no sooner, scarcely, only later, nowhere, little, only in this way, in no way, on no account. All these inverted sentences have the same structure. They all start from the adverbial, then followed by an auxiliary verb, then a subject, then the main verb. Okay, next. We can also make a sentence into inversion with the second part of the sentence. In the following expressions, the inversion comes in the second part of the sentence. We use this with several adverbials. For example, not until. Look at the sentence. I wouldn't believe he was safe until I saw John with my own eyes. First of all, you put the adverbial at the beginning of the sentence, not until. Then you take the second part of the sentence, I saw John with my own eyes. Then the first part of the sentence is put into an interrogative pattern. Would I believe he was safe? The same pattern can be used for the adverbial not since. Look at the example. Lucy hadn't had such a wonderful time since she left college. For the very first thing you have to do, you have to take the adverbial and you put it at the beginning of the sentence, not since. Then you take the second part of the sentence, Lucy left college. Then you put the first part of the sentence into interrogative pattern. Had she had such a wonderful time? The next adverbial you can use with this pattern is only after. Look at the sentence. I only understood why she wanted to live there after I had seen her flat. First thing first, you take the adverbial only after at the beginning of the sentence, followed by the second part of the sentence, I'd seen her flat. Then, the first part of the sentence, it is put into interrogative pattern. It becomes, did I understand why she wanted to live there? Understood is past tense, therefore we use did I understand. Next, only when. Look at the example. I only felt calm when we had all arrived home. When you put this into inversion, you take the adverbial first, only when, followed by the second part of the sentence, we had all arrived home. Then the first part of the sentence is put into an interrogative pattern. Did I feel calm? Felt is past tense, therefore we use did as the auxiliary verb. Only by. Look at the example. We could afford to eat only by working extremely hard. When you put this into inversion, you take the adverbial first, followed by the second part of the sentence. Therefore, the result is only by working extremely hard. Then, the first part of the sentence is put into interrogative pattern. Could we afford to eat? Inversion can be used for conditional sentences as well. Let's start from the first conditional. Look at the example below. If I have the time, I will help you. Conditional sentences are divided into two parts, the if clause and also the main clause. When you turn conditional sentences into inversion, what you change into inversion is the if clause. For the main clause, you just copy. For the first conditional, the pattern that you have to use is should subject verb 1, then copy the main clause. The result becomes should I have the time, I will help you. Now let's continue to the second conditional. For the second conditional, the pattern is divided into two. Let's take a look at the first one. If I were rich, I would buy this car. Look at the verb of the if clause. The verb is were. If you find that the verb is were, you use this pattern. Were, subject, adjective, noun, or adverb. I repeat, were, subject, adjective, noun, or adverb. For the main clause, you just copy. So the result is, were I rich, I would buy this car. For the second type of the second conditional, check the verb. The verb is not were, but any other verbs. Look at the example. If I had the money, I would buy this car. Again, check the verb. The verb is not were. If the verb is not were, you have to use this pattern. Were, subject, to verb 1. Were, subject, to verb 1. Therefore, the answer is were I to have the money, I would buy this car. So for the second conditional, please check the verb first. If the verb is were, use the first pattern, were, subject, adjective, noun, adverb. If the verb is not were, you have to use were, subject, to verb 1. Now, let's continue to the third conditional. Look at the example. If I had studied well, I would have got better scores. For the third conditional, the pattern that we use is had subject verb 3. Therefore, the result is had I studied well, then you copy the main clause. I would have got better scores. That is all the explanation of inversion. Thank you for watching.